All right, folks. It is Thursday and we are in for our chart session. And the first thing I'm noticing is I got a fill on ETH, like an insanely good fill. My entry price for my limit order was 2494 and price went to 2494.5. And I set this limit order when price was right down here. So should I have longed? Maybe. Should I have stayed long on Bitcoin as I got out down here at 62,100 and it's $800 higher? Maybe. However, we cannot judge results just based on what you do, on what happens, but also on what you do. And yeah, I'm calling for new all-time highs and all this, but I had the idea that I really need to trade order flow and focus on what's actually happening. And from an order flow perspective, it looked to me like the market was getting too hot. So we'll look and we can reposition and I can always get back in somewhere else. Um, but it's looking pretty good for the ideas that we had. So we're going to get into things in more detail. The first place I want to start though is looking at investment assets, gold and silver. Had a big green day. It makes sense. I mean, they're cutting rates. US 100 had a big green day, although it stopped. Yeah, I mean, yesterday was really interesting where it had the FOMC move and then a big green day. It's stopping right here. US 2000. US Dow Jones is now at new all-time highs, just going somewhere. Uh, S&P 500 at new all-time highs. Australian stock market at new all-time highs. Japanese stock market recovering. Okay, so let's look at crypto. ETH dominance up. Solana weekly breakout. ETH BTC. ETH others total. There's a world where I would just cut my ETH short. Kind of depends. I want to see. Zeta is hit. DYM is just going straight up. All right. So before we go into order flow, I'm just going to show you why I had a limit here. Well, it was looking super oversold or super hot. The market was super hot. And it might make sense to just get right out depending on what we're seeing. But I was looking at this 4-hour gap with, hey, this will be a target that we'll sell off from, either a major or minor target. And it's so far been a minor sell-off. I mean, yeah, it's possible. And I had the thought that we're just going to trend to new all-time highs, and that might happen. So here's what we need to do is we need to look at, I want to look at what happened at previous times when price just left the bottom as well. But we see funding is super hot across the board. So it doesn't make me want to be a longer just because I know everybody's long. But at the same time, like if spot comes back in and buys, price can go up regardless. And this is what we see, and I want to see what it looks like though in past times. But I know if I go to the timeline, people are going to be super exuberant. Okay, so we're at Bitcoin. I want to look at the funding rate, the global funding rate, and I want to look at CVD. And then we're going to go to, we're going to look at ETH. I want to look at ETH, yeah, ETH funding rate. And we're going to look at CVD and open interest. Okay, So what are we saying? So the reason I got out in here, right? No, I got out in here. Why did I get out in here? Well, let's look in the 4 hour. I got out here because, or no, I got out here because open interest is look, it doesn't mean it cannot go higher, but open interest is as high as it was when we sold off from 65K. It went quite a bit higher in this area, so it's possible. I'm also saying that funding went as negative. Funding went super negative right here. Or sorry, as positive. Funding went as positive as it did up here. So this is reminds me of this area from an order flow perspective. On the other hand, see, spot has been buying, right? Or at least there's been a release in sell pressure. So even though futures have been getting long, and we had a little reset on this pullback here, so maybe we could just, yeah. So ETH, we look at ETH. ETH's got really hot also with a huge increase in open interest. But the thing about ETH is we don't have like extreme funding or spot buying. But at the same time, I don't want to be here if the market just goes into trend mode to the upside. Let's look at Zeta, because I could also think about there's certain coins that might be signaling um, peak sells possibly. It was super negative, the funding, so that makes me less stoked on this. Also, we see that this is more spot buying, so Zeta's a no. I'm curious what else is out there. Just gonna look at some different alts. This one's weak. Helium's super weak. It's been super weak. Um, Steppen has been weak. GMT just turning up. If we look at the total, this just probably doesn't make like sense to be short here. Anything. It makes sense to be like breakouts just moving through the space to these highs, to this high. So we're seeing the volatility expanding too. I kind of like the idea of just cutting this. Possibly, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not feeling super confident on it. And I would hate to be losing money on the rally that I've been calling for. Because if you look, we do see at noon, like we did have, okay, 7, we put in a high, and then we swept this low right here. If we're just in a bullish trend, that's what it's going to look like. But I'm glad I wasn't short here. It just went higher right here. Would have been a good place to be long. And maybe it is a good place to just be close your eyes and long. I don't really like it. It's dangerous, but I'm concerned of just being short here too. It's a tough scenario because the funding is really high. Prices are up. So that would be a sell scenario, but we're also just coming up off the bottom and it's super late to be shorting. I kind of like leaving it. It's another 4% day. I don't know. I could think about buying sooner on Bitcoin though. So say I want to be long on Bitcoin. I like this one. I'll say that. I want to leave this at 57,150. Now the question is if I want to be long elsewhere, there's this area and there's this area. I want to see what kind of volume we have at the top here. I mean, it's all kind of orderly. I only got out $800 lower. I'm not going to chase in. I'm going to leave the short for now. So there's a couple areas of interest. This is one. I would say this one's a lot more interesting because it's on the 4 hour. This one I know that I want, but it's just pretty far away. And I could think about this one. Right, so there's three. So let me structure all of them and think about if I would want to take them. Do I want to take all of them? I want to narrow it. Right. So this one, I would put it right here. And I would look for that lower gap to survive. Feels like such a dangerous place to short, but and a great place to be long based on the chart. It's just the order flow. The order flow is very concerning to me. So, okay. I'll probably trade them all three of them, and I'll just think about sizing. So we have this got one entry there, and my stop. Yeah, I have a great entry on the ETH short. It doesn't mean it's a great trade, so I want to come back and reevaluate it. Okay, something like that. And then it may just get hot and just never stop. This looks like a possible air gap though to me. I would be very surprised if we don't get a pullback. I don't know that we need to hit the low, so I might adjust my TP on this, but could just keep moving. I expect volatility right at this level too. I feel like I know I'm counter trend trading. I got a great entry. But this kind of concerns me. Like that looks like such a clean entry. Same here. It's like locally it can go higher, right? I want to trust in the order flow, but here's the thing. It's like let's go back and let's look at what order flow looked like some of the times when we were leaving a bottom like this. Put it on a higher time frame here. But also just break even the ETH. Watching it isn't gonna help me, but if we're just trending, it's makes sense for it to just go from here, but it's the narrative. I know it's rate cuts, which is a great narrative. Okay. Right, I wanted to look at, so for instance here, the current situation looks a little bit like August when, yo, it was negative the whole time is crazy. That was way more of a bottom. Yo, that's crazy. Okay, so this is really interesting as there did come a time when funding didn't matter anymore, or funding just jumps right here, and it kind of stays elevated as price grinds up, and CVD even goes down. And it doesn't get negative, but anytime, I mean, you can buy dips in funding. Gets super positive, but in here, price kind of fails to move, make a big move. And then here, funding gets reset, and funding is reset on this move up and is low, actually. And then once it gets super hot, is when we experience our top. Okay. Let's look at another one of these. Funding's negative. Funding stays positive. Open interest moons. That happened in like 3 days. Well, we had negative funding. Let's see, where are we now? What does it look like? Yeah, we had. Oh. I hate counter trading my main thesis. I mean, I did have a limit order here and it wouldn't have come down. I hate counter trading my own thesis, but I'm not trading to manage my emotions. I'm trading to trade, right? So, trading to make money. So let's look. Order flow says chance of sell-off. Why? Funding's hot, open interest mooned, price is up. In the case of ETH, we don't really have spot buying, but yeah. Some increase in open interest. Oh, this is the 1 minute. Zoom out. Open interest been steadily increasing. So I think it would be the wisest thing would maybe be to look for a shallow pullback. So I could look here if I wanted to be really cautious. I think this is maybe a better place to aim, right at this. So I kind of like that. So honestly, I have about as much money if I had kept my long open. So I don't know. It would be interesting if price fails here to aim all the way down here. It feels unnecessarily greedy though. We don't even have any 1 hour gaps that have formed. Tough calls. If I aim here, it'll be a 2R. That would be the safest play. I kind of favor doing what's safe rather than trying to maximize. So 2,373. I would be very happy if that happened. Okay, I'm just gonna do nothing for the moment. Okay, what's moving in my favor? So okay, well I'm liking it more because it's working. Um, so I set this as my TP, right? Which I like that, it's likely. I could consider just de-risking advancing my stop. How would that feel though? I feel like it would. I'd maybe want to allow price to wick here, but I like the idea of de-risking somewhat. So I'm gonna do that to put it to 2524. Okay. Looks good. I mean, the limit orders look good. Oh, okay. No rush. Nothing is ever a rush in trading. Okay. So I don't know. I feel like if price hits my TP, I would love to trade it down to here. Just that feels like very greedy though, and maybe not necessary. Let's do this, because if it sets up for that, I could always try to limit order again, and this is a lot more likely to work. Did I advance my stop? So what's my risk gonna be now? And then let's get back to Bitcoin and consider these other limit orders. Okay, 2.5. So by doing that, now I've made it a 4R. 4R that's currently running at 1R. So this is a way I like to run limit orders is to start wide um, and tighten them up. Bitcoin is showing relative strength. I'm still concerned. I don't think it's a lock or nothing. Like just hitting this. What's going on with the buy pressure though? Nah, spot's been selling off up here. It's like a bearish divergence with funding mooning. People are like trying to, yeah, along this decline. So I'll probably do both, but I want to, I need to figure out my stop and how to size them. Okay, my stops. So this one, I like this one because why right there? Does it need to be basically, yeah, this 5 minute gap here. Put this right here. 61,451. I don't really like it, honestly. This is like an air gap, right? Potentially. This looks like a much stronger support. Price went up so fast here. I would say I can do this, but I have to use smaller size. Because this is a chase. It's a limit chase. Not that it won't. I mean, it might not even fill. It's possible price just continues up too. So this one, I kind of like my stop on this one where, okay, put it near the low. I could really get hurt in a decline here. But between here and here, there's a major, is actually like 600 bucks. So this one is a yay. This one, I'll do this one. The size is going to be smaller because I think it's possible this whole thing just gives, right? It's like a concerningly large gap, actually. Right, I think I'm stressing over the right things now. Instead of being like, oh, I'm afraid of price running to all-time highs without me. Yeah, I would miss out on profits. I don't want to blow my account though. And it's even if we go to all-time highs, it may not be a straight line that takes us there. But ETH looks good. Thank you, limit orders, because I wanted to market order right here, and I was like, hold on, let me pick a place where if price goes to by tomorrow, I will want to be short. So I think this one isn't that great. Because if price comes under this, it might be okay. The whole thing can retrace, and the ETH will pay for something, and it's also possible I wouldn't take a full loss. So we can do it. I might need to disable the lowest one for margin, but we will do it. And where am I aiming again? Right now I'm just aiming. I feel like if we take this high though, people are just gonna chase, and I would rather not have a TP and just exit when it makes sense to exit. Because if we take this, yeah, we're entering this supply area, but we made a higher high, and the all-time high runs can happen pretty quickly when they do happen. So this one, I want to be cautious on it. From current price to fill is a 2.4% decline. And from current price to TP on ETH is a 3.8% decline. I'm just noticing it took me a while, but yeah, we have bearish fair value gaps on the hourly on Bitcoin, which is, it's bearish, right? So, I mean, we could even think about being a seller in there. I know some people are. I don't want to do that. But it means this trade, I don't know that I love it. I feel like a better way to play this would maybe be if price comes into here, bounces and gives a 1 hour fair value gap, maybe I take that. But I might miss that because those gaps like it might happen when I'm not really engaged. Yeah, I'm super happy to be back to the limit orders. This had been my experience trading with limit orders in the past. It was like unbelievably good entries, and I'm super grateful for this because if I had even set my limit at 2495, it wouldn't have filled. And one of the reasons I'm so grateful and happy about limit orders is I'm very uncomfortable being underwater on a trade. I do not like being underwater on a trade. And on this, I was never underwater, right? I was never underwater, and I caught the very high of the move. So, yeah, I'm trying to do this in one session today. I'm thinking we have these 2 big days up. If it retraces, why shouldn't it go back to this low, right? A part of me wants to aim for this low, and then I can come back and I can reconsider in this area if I want to cut it. But this is like the air gap area too, so I can kind of hedge and I don't need to get a perfect exit. But this is like a major liquidity. But again, I can just re-enter. If I want to be more aggressive, I could go farther to the bottom of this gap. 2343. And the reason to do this, to be more aggressive, is because if I'm going to be long on Bitcoin from here, I'm honestly more comfortable waiting for a more significant pullback. But why does that need to happen? You know, we're at new all-time highs. But that's just the nature of the market, is to trade the same area multiple times. It happens more often than not. We're seeing though ETH BTC is kind of dying, which is great. I think I'll take it, but I'm just going to size it smaller because I'm a little bit less confident on it. And then I think I wanna look at alts a little bit. I deleted it. I don't like that. Right now, like, yeah, that could fail. It's just these structures tend to not hold in general. I don't know, it wasn't that disorderly. So yeah, we'll try it. And again, the advantage is I have a short running into this. So we can do it. I want my stop, like, there's this little order block. Yeah. And I think I maybe will size it. One on both. Okay. It's taking me a while. I'm also gonna look at alts because we're coming into the close in 15 minutes. But I'm gonna aim for this golden pocket, aim a little bit further on ETH to also compensate for the longs. I don't think it's that unreasonable to aim for a new monthly low on ETH. Okay, I'm gonna aim for that. On Bitcoin, put in my orders. I'll probably just have two. Yeah. So the first one is going to be at 61,275. And again, I can reposition, but I really get the sense that if price takes this high, I don't know, there's so much supply overhead. It could take a while to make it out. So why don't I just aim for this high right here? I don't see a world where I'll be super mad that I made like 6R, you know? So let's do that. I'm gonna limit at 61,275 with a stop at 60,022. I have one Bitcoin. My target's gonna be 60,700. 65,700. Okay, so my first limit is set. My second limit, I'm gonna set it down here at 58,800 and out 58,835. So 58,835. I'm gonna have one Bitcoin. My stop is gonna be at 57,810, and my TP is gonna be at 65,700. Okay. So I have my Bitcoin long set. I'm not gonna set this one right now. If price comes closer, I'll set it. But I need the margin, and that's a 10% move. And there won't be very unlikely there's a 10% move in between me checking the chart. Okay. So this one's not a guarantee to work by any means. But I would say it's a lot of what we want to see. And again, Bitcoin actually has made bearish fair value gaps. Not that it can't go higher, but it did make bearish fair value gaps. And um, it's more likely to mean not bullish. So let's go to coin market cap. I have some margin left. I might be interested in random alt shorts. CKB I've been watching for a while. Is it ready? Yeah. That looks interesting. I made a big bearish fair value gap. It didn't quite hit that high. Became just short. Um, Now we're gonna look at alts. The funding's been way too positive for way too long. That's still way too negative. It's still too negative, but it's coming in now. It's starting to come in. Finally, I want to see, do we have distribution from spot yet? No, spot hasn't stopped yet. Been flat up here. If anything, it's a bullish divergence. So CKB want to leave alone. We've also having open interest decrease, although this is shorts. This is shorts exiting. Celestia, Sui. It needs to have the chart pattern. Okay, Celestia has the chart pattern. I think my one Bitcoin was maybe too close. Funding negative, so that's not great. It's also like the most beaten down thing. So probably want to leave it alone. Probably want to leave it alone. We're seeing, yeah, no, we're seeing some distribution from spot, possibly at the top here. Funding's kind of predicted to go to, yeah, spot. So that's just a potential. I would be interested in maybe limiting something like that. This is Bybit. Big day. Yeah, it could keep going higher for sure. So my idea would be we have created a 1 hour gap. Came down here. Let's look at what happened at the high. It's already sold off pretty far, but it seems okay. I would want my stop not at the high, but inside the high. Be like that. This just tends to save money. So Celestia, we've got Popcat, Phantom. Oops. Popcat. No, it's a breakout. So leave that one alone. Phantom. Phantom, I mean, I think it's maybe tradable. Phantom, FTM. Yeah, this one looks a little bit better because it's been positive the whole way through, right? And we're seeing possible. This one though doesn't necessarily have. So Celestia's is not as good because it has the funding was more positive. but spot is we have decreased we've profit taking or something at the high. Phantom Phantom's good because also open interest kind of doubled here. Phantom's good because it was positive funding, but it's spot has kind of been participating and it's not, but we have bearish gaps too. I don't have much margin left, but I could be interested in throwing some small shorts on these. And these will help with the Bitcoin long if things go down too. MX, it's short, so I'll just leave that one alone. Right, I'm looking for reasons to disqualify trades. Core, Theta, Beam, Rune. I want to go to the second page. I think I'll get more interesting stuff there. This one as well. Rune. I want to see a major level hit. Okay, Rune. Rune is doable. So let's look. We also have a bearish fair value gap created. So let's look at Rune. Rune. Okay, from funding it's positive, so it's doable. What do we see for futures and spot? Spot's buying. I don't really like it. It makes it a lot worse. It's like, what's going on? Futures are selling off. Futures taking profit. That's what's happening. As long as they're closing in profit, it looks like. But that's not a good reason. So I think I'm gonna leave Rune alone too. See if we can find something better. WIF, SEI, AVAX. Let's see what else. We didn't hit the level, so we'll leave that alone. This one has higher to go, so we'll leave that alone. AVAX. No, yeah, a lot of these look like they want to continue higher. ETH looks awesome though. I love what's happening here. Yeah, as it is now, actually, I maybe made more by closing my long right in here because the short is as much as the long would be. Okay, I can be picky here. I don't need to trade anything. Yeah, I'm disappointed on Rune that it didn't look quite good enough because I really would like to. It looked almost good enough, but it wasn't. Wormhole. Um, no, it needs to have the chart set up. That's not even the biggest one. So Baby Doge isn't tradable. Saga. Saga didn't hit a major target, so no. Zeta. Zeta. Okay. Please show me what I'm looking for. Zeta. Okay, funding is doable. I need to see a declining spot and an increasing futures. No. Well, maybe if we go to a lower time frame, it might look okay. Here, yeah, we see actually it looks like spot has been distributing. And funding's been going negative because longs have been closing, I guess. Yeah, but if we look, I don't know. A number of these do look pretty decent. They don't look amazing. They look good enough to maybe throw a small amount of risk on it. DYM, interesting. No, this one's just running alt layer. What is alt? This one's not there yet. Osmo, Mew, no, no. Yo, how many of these? How's others doing? Others dominance is doing well. Okay, we're 1 minute into the new day. Okay. My intuition is if I want to short, I should use. Limit orders on these because they're not perfect. Let's eliminate Phantom just because it's holding above the level. So I have Celestia and Zeta. Already had pretty big reactions. So if I were to follow my system, I would just mark it in. I don't know that I love limiting. It's quite far away, and it's so possible. It's just like, yeah, I don't see why it should come back up there actually. I think I'll take Zeta and not Celestia. Zeta looks better to me. Where we do have, okay, there was spot buying. This is the shorts getting cleared out, and then longs entering. Ah, yeah. So I think I'm gonna do this one and not Celestia. Why not Celestia again? And I need to throw my computer away after this. Because funding is negative, right? Even if it's starting to come positive. If it's negative, I don't like it. Although we're seeing spot selling, funding normalizing, but yeah, okay, let's not. So let's do Zeta. And I'm just gonna mark it in, and I'm gonna put my stop at the high, just before the high. And I'm gonna target this low down here. Okay, I hate chasing, but while I'm dilly-dallying, price is moving down a little bit. Data. I could set a limit order just a little bit higher, but if we look at what price has been doing already, is rejected, rejected, So it just doesn't seem like this seems like a bad place to short though, where there's like a lot of volume. So where might I like to be? Locally, I don't like that. I could also just leave it alone. I have the ETH short already, and almost the ETH short honestly looks better. So I could just leave that. What happened on this minute here? Um, there was a lot of shorts getting stopped out. I think I will do it. This is a place where it's okay for me to limit order or to market order because of what it is. So 45, I'm gonna set this at like 10, and then I'm gonna be done for the day at the market. Oh yeah, I'm trying to get in here. Open short. Okay, I'm gonna put my stop at 0.74. Okay, I actually made it too big by mistake, maybe, but I might just leave it. The target that I want, I might just partial immediately. Yeah, I like that. 0.5, 0.544. I risked 600 on this, which feels like maybe more than I want to risk. This is longs getting stopped is what that is. But yeah, a little bit of selling. I'm just gonna close maybe 1,000. Why? And now I'm risking like 500. Okay, so I'm about to log off. Those are my trades. From here, whatever happens, happens. And if there's any problem, this trade is questionable. And I think I'm gonna actually reduce the size on it slightly. It's probably fine. It's probably fine, but I like this one a lot more. I don't really like it that much, but if that works, I'm making money on the other shit. How much of this is, where's this gonna be? I guess if that works, then if I get stopped out on this, this one's probably gonna work, and we'll pay for it. And there'd be a little daily fair value up there too. So, all right, we're done.